It's been 10 days since I put out the I Am Blessing Prayer of Gratitude. And hopefully, over about 2,500 people have gone to that and copied it, and they're passing it around and sharing it, and they're praying it. And it started out with glorious, amazing, awesome, marvelous, holy I am, source of all. And it's all about thanking the creator of the universe just for being who he is. And in the process, when we start talking to him and we be quiet, he starts responding to us. Well, this was really important to me because there was a time that I needed a new heart. And everybody in my family, everybody in my dad's side of the family had heart problems. Well, I didn't want to have to go get a bypass or what they were all doing. So I went right to the Master. I went right to Holy Spirit, and I asked him what I should do. And he gave me the name of a nutrient that I had to go find, and he told me to eat 15 tablespoons a day. Well, when I got the nutrient, it said specifically on the label, do not eat more than 1 teaspoonful a day. Well, who am I going to follow? The manufacturer of the product or the spirit that created the ability to produce the product in the first place? So I ate this product for a couple of years, and I ended up with a new heart. Well, say I don't believe that. It doesn't matter to me if you believe it or not, because I believe it, and my second daughter didn't believe it, so she took me to the doctors, had my heart checked, and the doctor said, I can't believe he's got such a strong heart. Your dad's going to live forever. Well, something happened because I went to the Master and I asked him what he would have me do, and then I did what he said. I was obedient. Well, another time I had a hip socket. My left hip was degenerated and the ball was cracking and popping in the socket. Well, I never told my wife about it because I was going to take it to the Master. And I took it to him, and I was traveling, and I went by a revival that was being held by an apostle from Nigeria who was a friend of mine. I walked in the church. He said, "We'll get up here. Give them a word." Well, Holy Spirit said, "Share Azusa Street." So I shared the Azusa Street story, and I went and sat down, and the apostle said to the congregation, how many people here have a prayer language? And about 20 people stood up and they went forward, and they sang for about 20 minutes in their prayer language. And all of a sudden, a ball of heat hit my left hip, and I got a new hip socket. And that was, 12, maybe 15 years ago, 14 years ago. Well, my left hip is actually better than my right hip because I went to the Master and I asked him, and basically I was obedient, and I did what I was supposed to do, and through that I got a new hip. Well, God has new parts for you. God has healing for you. Now, you don't have to run to a physician. You don't have to run to a nutritionalist. You don't have to do anything but spend time with the Master. And, Jesus doesn't speak to us here. He sent Holy Spirit to speak to us here, to guide us, to care for us, to direct us. And so we say, Holy Spirit, what do I need to do? Well, you've already been praying this prayer for at least 7 days, I pray, and you've developed a relationship with Father, and you've told him how much you appreciate him. And now it's time to develop that walk or that conversation a little bit further. Well, in 1910, we had something called homeopathy. And in 1910, John D. Rockefeller bought all but one medical college and converted them to what he called science medicine or modern medicine. Or at the time, they called it Rockefeller medicine. And that medicine had to do with petroleum byproducts or petrochemical products. And so all of a sudden, we went from homeopathy, which is like cures like, to this modern, quote, modern medicine that basically kill things, overpower things. Well, Holy Spirit doesn't overpower us. Holy Spirit walks beside us, and he gives us an opportunity to walk with him or to not to. Well, Satan is the overpower. I want you to think about that, because the word pharmakia, in Greek meant, or the word sorcery in Greek, or witchcraft in Greek, is pharmakia. Well, am I against all pharmaceutical products? No, I'm not, because some of them are natural and they're called pharmaceuticals. Am I against byproducts of petroleum that we put in the body? Well, some people need them for a season, but it's better to get healed, and we have a healer. And so this is the time to go to the healer, or to go to his representative, Holy Spirit, and say, Holy Spirit, I have this challenge in my body, so I'm going to ask you, what should I do? Well, when John D. Rockefeller took over modern medicine, he also took over the school system, because he wanted people to work for him. And so he spent millions of dollars taking over what used to be Sunday school, because our school system started out with our young people going to their church and learning how to read and write, and the textbook was the Bible. Well, that completely changed. So today we have a system of teaching people how to memorize words, and the pathetic school system of today, you memorize basically 600 words, and now you're capable of being educated. Well, Elon Musk just started a whole school system because he realized how inadequate this was. And so if you're a parent, I would get on the internet and I would see what Elon Musk is doing, because perhaps your children can fall into his system. So we talked about homeopathy, we talked about allopathic medicine. Well, the most important thing is to go to the healer and get healing. So what's happened in the past? It used to be that we ate whole food. We used to eat food that came from the garden or from the orchard, or we ate berries, or we ate herbs, and we were pretty healthy. We were pretty healthy back then. But somehow we've gotten into processed foods. Well, processed foods have been altered. And when I look at the ingredients of the foods, it's interesting, because 2 years ago I started the year with a 3-day dry fast, and that year I didn't eat any sugar, I didn't eat any wheat, and I didn't eat any vegetable oil for that year. And when I went to the grocery store to buy things like a can of beans, I couldn't buy most of these things because they had stuff in them that I didn't eat. Either they had wheat, or they had dairy, and I didn't eat dairy, and they had vegetable oils, and so they were off the chart. It's hard to find something that's processed that doesn't have sugar in it. Well, why is that? Because if it tastes good, you'll buy more of it. So, processed foods, what's wrong with vegetable oils? Well, they're processed with such a high heat, and they're so rancid that they're really not healthy for you. Your body can't process them. Can your body process things that aren't from the ground, or from the plants, or from the trees? No, it can't. It can't process those things. So what happens? What happens to the vegetable oils? They mess up your liver. My goodness, most of the people in this country now have fatty liver. Well, I want to talk to you about a couple of things, and I really can't see. I can share anything with you that I'm not making money with, but if I make any money with it, I can't share it with you. So I really think I found a way to bypass, or to overcome dementia and Alzheimer's. But I can't get you that product, but I can tell you about that product, because it's a system. It's a water system called John Ellis Water System, and it costs $2,800. Well, that's a lot of money, but how much is life worth? How much is it worth? I can tell you about other things that I don't make any money from. 48 years ago, I met a man that had a cure for cancer. Is it a sometimes cure? No, it's 100% cure, and it's just an algae that comes from the water, and he heard about it when he was 68 years old, and they gave him 2 weeks to live, and he lived. And I met him when he was in his 90s, and that particular algae is called chlorella, and he started a company called Sun Chlorella, SUN Chlorella, and we buy ours from Vitacost or iHerbs, or I mean, I don't make any money with that. I can tell you all about that because I don't have any benefit from that. There's a lot of things I'd like to tell you, but I really can't tell you about anything that I make money from. But I can only tell you about things that I don't make money from. Years ago, I bought a booklet. It was called How to Practice Medicine Without a License. Well, what I learned was I can talk about me, things that I've done, but I can't tell you what to do. So if you say, well, how did you fix your heart? Well, there was a product that I ate, and I didn't make any money from it, but today I make a profit from it. So I can't tell you what that is, but if you would drop me an email, I'll tell you all kinds of things, because some of those things I make a profit from. So understand this. I want you to be healthy. It starts out with being grateful to Father, and then getting to spend time with him, and then asking him what he would have you do, and then doing it. That's obedience. And it takes discipline. And discipleship is about discipline. So I'm not going to talk to you a lot. I'm going to leave my contact information underneath this video, and I'll answer any questions you've got. And if you want to know what I've got written about homeopathy and allopathic medicine and that kind of stuff, I've got 9 pages of stuff that I will be glad to send you if you drop me a note from under this video. But in the process, please, please, please keep praying the I am blessing prayer of gratitude. Keep praying it. I'm going to tell you, people that pray it and pray it and pray it and pray it